no real difference in terms of those deck lists, and it's all going to come down to the skill of the pilot.
Yeah, it was only Kolbasnik who also bought P38s, but I think both of them have similar weird air lists. So yeah, it depends a lot on who's going first, who's having the better start. Like if you can develop a board with Greyhound, Swordfish, and your opponent cannot really do anything against it, you can just trade away his units, you're having a big advantage. And it depends a lot about this, but yeah, also I think both know how to play it, so you cannot say, oh, this player is better, he knows how to fight out of this. So maybe it's just about who's having the better start. And as you predicted, both starting with Bodair.
Call me Nostradamus because I know everything. It is time for the grand finals of this month's Officer Club Championship. A best out of 5 to decide who is truly the best of the best. An absolute monster fight between two legends. Artemisia trying to cement his place there at the very tippity top of the Chinese community. HuiHui fighting for his old throne back. Who will take it? Only time will tell. Let's go and see how this mirror matchup of Brit Air goes. And already, I believe HuiHui has established a pretty... Oh, the second Paracy. I totally forgot. I was going to say, he's established a really, really strong position, but...
And especially because this is on a fighter and on an infantry unit. Your opponent is losing at least one unit if he's attacking one of them. Luckily for HuiHui here, he had the Unity of Strengths. Otherwise, he needed to trade more units into this.
Yeah, United We Stand is probably the absolute best top deck that HuiHui could have found there. He now has 2 credit advantage, and there was nothing for Artemisia to play on that last turn.
That feels bad, man. There was one thing I want to say, but I forgot. I wanted to say for next OCC, who's ever participating, you can just contact me, and I will just predict that your opponent is winning, so you can get the win. Because I've been wrong with J-King again, so I just keep my series here of always predicting the winner of a series wrong.
Okay, so I feel like this is an interesting spot from HuiHui. I was not going to be very much in agreement with him on that dropping the Wellington there, but man, found a lot of card draw. Convoy into mobilization, drawing 5 cards that turn with no real threat on the board there for Artemisia. So, and this is he can go bouncing this back and forth if he wants to play the Lightning again.
You could go Lightning. Actually, not really a really great play here for HuiHui. Decides to do the bounce. He needs to play something else, because otherwise, if Artemisia is bouncing, he's overdrawing.
So what do you feel about using the close air support there, knowing that you just sent the RAF Lightning back to hand?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure HuiHui is having a plan here. But what is the 2-4 Gladiator doing there?
I mean, this is the guy that beat J-King in a fatigue battle, right? And that's like...
Yeah, he might be...
I mean, that's crazy. That normally doesn't happen.
5 levels above us and thinking about the strategy here on how to beat Artemisia. So that I'm pretty sure the Gladiator plays an important role in that strategy.
Oh man, do you see the amount of draw in hand for Artemisia?
Yeah. He's just having all possible draw cards like Land Lease, Convoy, Mobilization.
He could draw 9 cards next turn, or like in the next couple of turns.
He's only having orders. He's not having a single unit. That is the situation that you face sometimes with Brit Air, which is, I don't know, 40% orders. And that is exactly what can happen there. You just sit there with a hand that is full of orders. And if your opponent is playing a Black Watch, for example, you just lose the match instantly. Ooh, that was cool.
All right, close air support coming out.
But Artemisia not in the worst spot here, honestly. Established a cool 4-5 Sexton. Unfortunately for him, there's a Rough Lightning and the Monty in HuiHui's hand now.
I mean, he knows about the lightning. He's the one that bounced it back. And this is starting to get pretty spicy. Sexton being sent back to hand. And again, as we talked about, there's pretty much just draw in hand right now for Artemisia. He needs to start finding some of his more valuable units that can help him actually have an impact at the moment.
Yeah, the board from HuiHui is just getting a little bit out of control now. Like the rough lightning cannot. Oh, if he moves the Greyhound to the front line, it can kill one of the units and another land, please.
What?
What is this?
The only thing he can do is play that Sexton, and I mean, United We Stand doesn't even do anything.
Yeah, all of these units have just been buffed so much.
He's emptying his hand so that he has space to do draws in the coming turns.
It also makes it that HuiHui cannot trade the rough lightning now, and it will survive. It will survive, so not too bad. But yeah, that rough lightning is keeping that Wellington check there. Not bad.
Oh, nice. Finding another rough lightning to bounce it. And
so if your opponent is forced to move a gladiator to the front line, then you know you have a problem.
Yeah.
And yeah, look at this hand. We are at this point. And another order. Hey. At least he can get rid of the gladiator now. Can you find more orders? Yes. What is that RNG?
Yes, he can. And he's just having
another lightning.
Yeah, I mean, he's just having to bide his time here. But slowly and surely, he is getting closer and closer to 0 on his HP tally. And that's going to be lowered by a further 10 this turn alone.
What can Artemisia help here? Not even HMS Illustrious can help. Because it's only 3 bombers then. It's only 4 AoE.
Yeah.
So I think that's it, yeah.
This is going to be game number 1.
What an unfortunate hand here for Artemisia.
I will say, hands down, I have never seen worse draws in Brit Air.
Oh, then you've never watched my stream, because this is usually how Brit Air goes for me. Like, I only draw my orders, and I don't know. And yeah, but I agree. Super unfortunate. Only find your draw orders, not finding any units, and yeah, I mean that's like the downside, right? It can happen if you have too many orders in your deck. That is what can happen at some time.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also what orders he found, right? I mean, if he had found like the Empire Strikes a little bit sooner, if he had found, his shelling or other type of control orders, that would have been fine. But he only found his draw, and at no point did he have like a full turn to spend drawing because the pressure was on from HuiHui. HuiHui was able to get off a convoy into a mobilization directly on, what was that? That was turn 5. He drew 5 cards, and at that point, he had such a massive card advantage that Artemisia was just fighting uphill.
Yeah.
But now we see the bounce.
The bouncy schmancy with the handshell, that might be a good protection for 1 turn to keep a bomber away of your HQ. But look how heavy this hand is, and look how fast Artemisia's hand is looking.
I mean,
HMS next turn, give him 3 bombers, then he plays close air support, and HuiHui is having a big problem.
Yep.
Oh, and finds another swordfish.
Given the fact that you know what deck you're playing against, I think Artemisia is just he's thinking right now, just I've got this. This game's pretty much over.
Yeah, you can easily trade that one away now. Just with a close air support. And he found another one.
He's got 3 in hand. He can make all of those bombers, what is that, 4-6? If he wanted to.
Yeah, if he wanted to. But this is enough for this turn. And next turn he can play the other 2 for 12 face damage. And yeah, he just needs to play a naked Shark Bomber here, just to protect the HQ.
HuiHui's got bounce next turn if he needs it.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to need it. Double close air support coming out, and then exactly 3 credits left to attack with all units. He can trade effectively into the Jack Bomber without losing any units. And delivers 8 damage to face on turn number 5 with that board still remaining. That is a scary prospect.
Yeah, and even if HuiHui is bouncing 1 now, there's a potential that he just gets another 8 to the face.
I think he
But I think he
will.
goes, he kills that one and plays the United We Stand and goes face with the other one. Oh wait, wait. Is he even lethal? Not really. But that Empire Strikes is huge here.
Absolutely.
He's trying to find a way for lethal, but there is no. See, he does not even need to trade anything. Even if he's bouncing again, he can just drop double Swordfish next turn, Empire Strikes, and it's lethal.
Yep.
There's
And
nothing that HuiHui can do.
No, that's probably what Artemisia was thinking about when he made that play. He realized that he had guaranteed lethal in hand with the units. And he's going to have exactly enough credits next turn as well if he wants to.
That will not do it. Sure, that Henschel would usually protect the HQ now, but HuiHui not knowing that there's 2 Swordfish and Empire Strikes waiting. He knows 1 Swordfish, which would be already good enough.
There we go. That's it. Artemisia ties us up 1-1. We have a finals series.
Yeah, Brit Air really showing how strong it is at the moment.
Yeah.
Can only be beat in the mirror match. But both of Brit Air's lists out of the way now. So Alpine and US Poland has to carry for Artemisia now. And also US Poland Legions and US... Oh, yeah, that bounce deck from HuiHui has to carry now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be interested in seeing that bounce deck perform. That's what I want to see.
It worked well against J King. I think it's designed to be good against control matchups, but I think against more aggro matchups, it should be not that great as we saw. Because it's not running a lot of Flampanzer sudden strikes. So I'm excited to see how it goes against that Legions deck and that Alpine deck.
Artemisia dropping the Red. I would say that gives him a slight edge here in the early game battle.
Yeah, but HuiHui with the Unity, that can also be huge.
I mean, that's probably why he didn't move to the front line.
Absolutely.
But look at that. There's now a Unity of Strength in hand as well.
Both have it.
For Artemisia. And if HuiHui decides, you know what, I'm going to be a little bit cheeky here and I'm not going to use my Unity of Strength. I'm going to do something like, I don't know, drop a Hellcat. Then that's dangerous.
Yeah. There's the chance of
that's
United We Stand, right?
That's +3/+3 on the Red Devils. That's going to be so expensive to deal with. This is an entire turn, next turn, just to deal with that. And he has to sack his Hellcat.
I mean, there was another play next turn. He could have, last turn, he could have played Unity, but then he could not attack into the Red Devils. So he could not really clear it last turn. I think that was his only play there. Could have played Skytrain, but then he could not get a unit out of it.
Did HuiHui just miscalculate the Unity of Strength buff? Because he buffed the unit and then went to trade it into the Red Devils, but then realized that it wouldn't be enough.
I don't know what he did there. It happens to the best, right? But not sure what he was thinking.
I mean, I could definitely see that happening.
But also, Artemisia, what is he doing here now? Probably go for the 2-1. just to get that one out, and your opponent still has to spend 2 credits to get rid of that.
It's flooding the board with even more infantry units. California, not really the find that you wanted if you were
No.
HuiHui.
Especially when your opponent is having a board full of units, of small token units, and you don't want to drop a second California into that one. That is very good. If you can manage to buff the Skytrain with it.
But the Red Devils really coming in clutch there. They effectively didn't allow for HuiHui to completely clear the front line.
Goes for the Skytrain. Gets rid of it as soon as possible. Make a 6-5 out of it, so it survives the Hellcat clearing there. Decides to go for... did not hit the 50-50, he wanted that +1/+1 on the California. There's the Uprising. That is 1 damage so far.
Yeah.
But, so he's doing more damage to himself with it than to his opponent. For the Sherman. Yeah, he needs to improve his hand. His hand is not looking great, just having a second California there. The rest is kind of useless at the moment.
I feel like Artemisia is really hoping that HuiHui takes this turn to develop something like the Tarno regiment and doesn't opt to go for the trade because he just top decked the Unity of Strength. And that would have helped him put on a little bit more pressure and deal a little bit more effectively with these backline threats.
Oh, starts to develop his research. A lot of options here. With this deck, you can also go wide, and then even Penicillin makes a lot of sense. But you can also just, depending on what you're facing and how the game is going, you can also just go for the nukes. Both players just advance their research.
I really like this from Artemisia, matching the research. But man, that top deck strat bombing, that could come in clutch, and it indeed does. Only leaves the sole Sherman with 1 HP left in the support line here.
Yeah, Artemisia still not having a great hand here. Sure, he has a Tarno, Plan West.
There's just medical battalion.
Oh, that could be huge.
Plan West.
Play that medical on the left, protect it, and then just play the Plan West, yeah. What else could he do? I think you don't want to trade a Sherman into a 1-1 or a 2-1 California.
Oh.
On the other hand, I'm not sure if you can let this California live there. Like, there's still the potential of Unity, and your opponent is having 32nd in hand. So you can still make a really big California there. Let's go for the Plan West and the Medical Battalion. Oh, that's good value. +3. Plus all the units have +1 attack now. And there it is, yeah.
You called it. And I mean, he's got 2 32nd in hand. He can
and
drop.
Plan West even.
Yeah.
So he's having 6 infantry, and I can give it +6/+6. That is an 8-7 California.
That is a scary California.
He's considering it. And then you can trade the California that is in the front line into one of the 3-2s. I'm not sure. I think you never advance your research here. That's what you're never doing. Decides to go for Tarno. Tarno bounced the Sherman or what? Eh? He decides that this is good enough. He's not going too wide. Don't want to play into Uprising and stuff like that. Get rid of the Sherman.
Yeah, but the difference between 8-7 and 6-5, I feel like is kind of significant.
Yeah, especially because when you get Stars and Stripes there, you only lose a few 1-drops and 1 Plan West, so it would not be the end of the world. And that Stars and Stripes or Strat Bombing would be out of the game.
Yeah.
So, I could have seen that play there. Just go as wide as possible and make the biggest possible Kelly. On the other hand, your opponent is having Underground State in the deck, and he could easily just send that California back, and then you just wasted all of this into nothing. So kind of also makes sense to not go too wide here.
Yeah. But look at this. Artemisia is one research away from grabbing nukes if he wants to.
Oh, yes.
But the board from HuiHui is about as resilient to nukes as you'll find. I mean, the 4/7 Tarno is not going to die, and the Kali is not going to die. So the only thing you kill with a nuke, if you spend 2 turns on developing and deploying them now, is going to be, what, 1/32nd infantry?
Yeah,
that you're going to get rid of?
And 6 to face. That your opponent can equalize with his We Can Do It. So
where he has a health advantage as well. So even though he's invested a lot into this research, it's probably not where he wants to see it.
I think Artemisia should just go with the second California and kill the Tarno regiment.
I agree.
Get that out of the way. And we
again,
see a lot of these games today. We don't see any good value out of the Tarno regiment. The players looks like they're just playing it for the body, like for the 4/7. They don't have a lot of intel cards. Did we see any intel or any legions popping off from a Tarno regiment today? I cannot remember.
Not a single one.
Yeah, that's really strange.
Oh, that's a nice top deck. But definitely can be saved for a better opportunity. But what I want to point out is that the medical battalion has been extremely clutch throughout this game in terms of just delivering that extra 1 damage needed for an effective trade. I'm really starting to like this card more and more the more I see it played, and I think it's done some really good things for the ones playing at that card here today.
Yeah, it looks like a better Type 94, that Japan unit that is giving +1 attack to all units, because this boy just has 0.5 stats. Really hard to deal with it. And this, it looks like the players are not playing it for the heal, right? They're just playing it for the +1 attack.
Yeah. And now nukes have been developed by Artemisia.
I think HuiHui should do the same.
No, not the Catalina. It'll just draw you dry.
HuiHui should not make the Jackie mistake here and deploy Catalina. Don't do it. Okay, he's baiting him to spend his nukes on that one. Because he knows there's not that many great answers to just play the Uprising. Sure, why not?
I think it's not enough. I mean, like, why would you spend all the 5 credits to just deal with that Catalina with the Uprising? Especially knowing that HuiHui has the potential of going wide with his board on future turns.
Yeah, I would have loved to see the Uprising instead of the nuke. Because the Uprising, you have Tarno on board now, and with the Uprising, you kill your own units too, so...
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. Maybe he wants the Tarno to die, so we don't see any Allegiance card of a Tarno today 100%. He's going for the nukes now. Looks like he's not going for penicillin, right? Does that make any sense? He's not having a board here. He can give the California additional health, but
actually, that would be sick. That California is going to be 10 health, which means it's going to absorb 10 attacks.
He's going for it.
And I mean, it's 0 cost, so he can plan west and then do it.
I mean, he can even wait. He doesn't need to play it now. He can just bait out another nuke. He's having the front end here. His opponent needs to spend 4 attacks into this California, so he's all the time in the world.
No, he's going to have to spend 10 attacks into that California.
Yes,
I mean, don't you just want to hold Underground State until after penicillin gets popped? You can't afford to use it now, or can you? It looks like Artemisia says I can.
We found the first Legion's cards out of a Tano regiment. Who would have thought? Actually, that was not the unsmartest move there to send the California back. Sure, it has 0 attack, but still 4 health. That is very annoying to deal with. Tano to the front. I don't know. I think at this point, both players can still win.
Yeah, I agree.
That penicillin can make a big difference once there is a good board for HuiHui. But also that uprising. Maybe it was not... Maybe it was a good idea to hold it back. Because how many Legions even died until now? It has to be a lot. And with these 4 on board, when they die, it has to be at least 8 damage to all now. So he can even kill the penicillin units with it.
Tarnomi sent to hand.
Oh, revealed the both unities.
HuiHui is now thinking, okay, so I can't let him amass infantry units. Okay.
Should have gone for the nukes, maybe. Yeah, also in a match that might go as deep as this might go. I don't know if draw 4 is really what you want.
Potentially not. But now that California has 9 health, so that means 9 attacks are needed.
That is really annoying. Yeah, now he's having the problem that the uprising is killing his own board. Otherwise, he could just double nuke. Everything would almost die. That California would be a 2-7. Oh, God. He brought himself into an awkward situation here. What can you do? You can still trade his units in and play uprising, but leaves him with an empty board here.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to sack his board at the moment. That's why he's looking at the nuke option over anything else.
Still the best animation in the whole game.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Looks fantastic. Big unity, that gives 7-4. Unfortunately, the medical battalion is out. That would provide a lot of value now.
Yeah.
And that one has 0 attack now, but still needs 6 attack into it.
6 attacks. And it's locking Artemisia in the backline. He has a full backline. He needs to just go ahead and trade all these units or attack with all these units into the second California every single turn.
Yeah, and they can have 100 attack, right? It still needs 6 attacks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's in trouble now.
We'll plan west, and then we can do it. Giving the California plus 3 additional health. So it is 9 attacks then. Oh, he goes for underground stay? No. He goes. Wait, what? Huh?
Medical battalion. That's going to heal the nuke damage. This board is now huge for HuiHui.
So at this point, maybe Artemisia is forced to play the uprising.
I mean, sack your units first.
Yeah, I mean, he's checking how much damage it is doing, so he can save himself some credits. He needs 9. I'm not sure how many died so far, but I'm pretty sure it was not 9.
No, it's definitely not 9, at least as of yet.
I mean, he doesn't really need 9. He can just trade the 4-7 into this. And then it should be enough. Then he only needs 8.
I mean, you attack the 7-4 into the 3-7, right? No? Okay. Opting to go for the 3 dead legions. Wait, now he just checked the damage. It's not enough. He's checking the damage. It is enough. Everybody is receiving 10 damage. Everything is dead. 10. Except for that second California. It still requires 5 attacks to get rid of it.
That thing will still be in the front line in the next OCC, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Whenever
That second
HuiHui is starting the
California-
next match, this thing will still be in the front line.
Second California is chanting, "We're not leaving. We're not leaving.
We're here
Just stay
forever. We
here."
survived 2 nukes.
And there's 2 we can do it as well. He can buff it for 6 more HP, Spooz. He can
God,
keep it in front line for 11 more attacks.
Cannot believe it. And there was only one uprising in Artemisia's deck, so he's out of nukes and uprising now. So whenever HuiHui wants to, he can go as wide as he wants.
And look at it. That Unity is not doing anything. It doesn't have access to a target where it actually matters.
He could kill his own units with it.
Stars and Stripes.
But at this point, it does not really matter. You don't want to have the extra credit, I guess. So I think it's not worth to kill your own unit just for 13 credits.
No.
Oh, God. That California.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to bite the bullet, right? But wait.
Wait, this is backfiring now.
Yeah, because they get attack every time they
From the hill.
survive from hell. So that California could just become a huge buff machine. What is going on, Spooz? This dynamic, it's so fun.
Just imagine.
There's just a 0-6 California that's just going
having
out.
an unkillable unit in the front line, and it's bad for you.
Underground State coming out. That's going to remove the biggest threat. And it's going to remove the hell effect off it as well.
Yeah, but there are still 2 units sitting there with that effect. Oh, and he's giving it additional attack. Health. Okay, can get rid of another unit. Holy moly, what are we seeing here? Some really cool interactions.
The Karas coming out. That is a card that has intel.
Yeah, now look at the deck, at the remaining deck sizes. At the end, I think it can just matter that HuiHui played Penicillin here and just drew more cards.
So HuiHui has 9 cards remaining and Artemisia has 10. So the difference isn't that big.
Yeah, actually not. And HuiHui also having the health advantage here. So in the end, it should just equalize that he just starts the fatigue 1 turn earlier. Man, this is like, I don't know. I think my brain would have already exploded if I would plan all the moves here and all the things that could happen and figure out the optimal strategy in each situation. Holy.
Now, hell coming out of HuiHui. It only hit 1 Legion's unit, though. It generated another one for him, though. So he's able to move that 3/6 up and play the Section 2 to generate 1 more Legions.
I'm not
He
sure
could,
if
he could
wants
make an
to
even
draw,
bigger
honestly.
Unity.
Decides to go for more draw. Oh, he can get rid of the Karas if he wants to.
Oh, that's actually huge. Opting not to go for it, though.
Go for the biggest possible. 413.
How many
my
attacks
God.
has that second California taken at this point?
This is like the personalized John Rambo.
And keep in mind, this is the second California that was sent back to hand after already eating probably like 8 attacks, right?
Yeah.
And then it's probably eaten another 8. That second California has been hit like 12 or 15 times.
He just had some combats, then he did go to dinner and just returned even stronger and took 2 nukes, took out 5,000 units, and he's just standing there and still able to attack. 413. But I tell you, it might matter in the end that HuiHui just drew too many cards. Also with the Section 2, he just drew 2 more now. And the disadvantage in fatigue is just increasing now.
Yeah, I mean, it could come down to that if he survives that long, right? I mean, how much more HQ protection does Artemisia have in his deck?
I mean,
that
California is going nowhere, right? Then there's that 4/4 that is probably getting killed from the California. And what is left then? The Karas there? I don't know. It will be very, very close.
I mean, now no more legions, so access to hitting face.
Yeah, that Tano might be a problem in the end.
But let's see how far has HuiHui gone into his deck. Well, at this point, HuiHui only has 3 cards left, and Artemisia has 9. So HuiHui is going to start taking fatigue damage relatively quickly. But again, I don't think that's too big of a deal. Look at the amount of damage he has in the front line. He has what is that? 13, 14 damage in the front line, and he has 2 bombers in the back line. He can deal 18 damage to face. He is lethal next turn.
And what is Artemisia finding? Skytrain. Okay, that can keep the Karas away from hitting, but
he draws a card.
I should have dropped the Legion maybe before that one. Would have given +1 additional health. California is a good find here. Can get rid of the 5/5.
Yeah. It costs a lot of credits though. I mean,
he can do it, and then he can still guard up.
He hasn't attacked with the Karas. I believe.
Can get rid of the Tano regiment. I think he should, because there are a lot of Section 2 waiting. HuiHui's hand here, but also just 1 legion. But he's having the Tano regiment still in the front line that can give him more units. But I think at this point, HuiHui cannot play the Section 2, right?
No, he can't. No. And I mean, I think Artemisia is just hoping that, you know what? Not dropping the legions before he played that Section 2 could come back to haunt him, because now the Karas from the backline is able to trade out that guard unit, giving 5 damage access to his HQ. If he would have had it at 3/3, then the Karas would have had to attack and the Red Devils, and only 4 damage would have gotten through. If HuiHui decides to kind of focus all his energy on going face.
Yeah, it could make a difference in the end.
Looks like he wants to attack the capabilities of Artemisia's board, however, rather than just focusing on going face.
God, is this intense? So close.
He's probably thinking, I have plenty of time. I might be down, card advantage, but he's still going to have to survive 6 or 7 more turns if he wants to fatigue me out.
Yeah, but do you know what? HuiHui cannot play the Shermans, since this California will be there forever. And he's not having anything good left. In his deck, he will also... he will have 1 draw. He's down to 1 card left, or 2 cards.
He is down to 2 cards. And Artemisia is at 5. Because Artemisia has pulled a couple of draws.
Ooh, what founder we can do it. I can buy him some time here. 8 damage in the front line for HuiHui. 10 with the Karas. So Skytrain can kind of protect, but would be better to have it behind a guard.
He keeps drawing. He's trying to look for solutions. Just finds another we can do it. That's not what he needs. Tough break.
Why?
Looks like Artemisia is just about to give this one up.
Why? It's not over yet. That we can do it can make a difference in the end.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of them, that's plus 6 HP. I mean, there is a case to be made of why he did not play a we can do it strategic bombing. That would have killed both of those legions in the back line that are now posing a threat in the front line. Underground State. It's pulling a card, though. HuiHui is going to start...
Look at HuiHui's hand. He's having 9 cards and can only play 1 of them. All other would just give him unnecessary draw.
But he is so close to lethal at this point. I mean, surely that's not going to matter. Surely it doesn't matter.
I'm really sure that Artemisia is hoping to have 2 uprisings in his deck.
He's generating more?
I mean, yeah, he has to secure that he's winning next turn. It's still a long way until he dies to fatigue. It's like 4 or 5 turns.
I mean, Stars and Stripes.
Yeah, he has to do. He cannot Stars and Stripes. But he can kill both 4/4s. Only leaving the Tano Regiment as a real threat alive. But
And
HuiHui
he
just
blocks
moving.
with the Skytrain. He blocks with the Skytrain. That's 5 damage. He's going to take this turn. He has plus 3 HP next turn.
Oh my god, what is this?
But it's going to be against the full front line again.
Yeah, it was so unfortunate that he.
Oh, and there's a California.
Yeah, that might seal the deal here.
That seals the deal.
I don't see how.
Unless there's an underground state left.
Oh my god. He could also. No, he
That's
cannot.
That's 0-11, second California. I mean, it is taking up a spot in the front line. It has limited damage access, which would have allowed him to finish the game. But I feel like HuiHui has to be sitting pretty at this point, right? Let's look at the credits. Artemisia has to pop. We can do it.
Yeah, he cannot get rid of the California.
He can guard up. He has a plan west. And then we can do it.
Oh,
Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? And then he found an underground state. No, but he's too low. He's starting to
Both are out of cards now.
He's starting to take fatigue next turn. How much fatigue damage did HuiHui just take?
I think it was 4.
Why? Oh, okay. Access. Okay. So Artemisia is going to take 1 damage next turn and then 2 damage. So he has 2 turns. So he has to deliver damage somehow to the face.
What are we watching here?
One of the closest
Strat bombing
actions.
Is it strat bombing? Oh no, it's not enough.
Another
Why?
guard unit. So there's no damage access to the backline, but he's dead next turn. He's dead the next time HuiHui hits end turn.
Question is how much
Is it going to
damage
be
is...
enough?
No,
Is it going to
that's
be enough?
never. It's never
No
8.
way. There's
It is
no
5.
way.
I think it's 5. So close.
Yeah, it's 5. I missed how much it was last time.
I'm not sure about 5, but it's never 8.
5.
What is that battle?
It doesn't matter what HuiHui does. He just hits end turn and the game's over. 2 fatigue damage is just enough. Oh my god.
what?
If Artemisia was able to block just 1 more attack from that Karas, he would have won on fatigue. That is one of the sickest games I have ever seen in an OCC. How can it be that close?
I don't know. That was really... It could not have been closer. Like, what in the world? That was really impressive from both players. Like, just imagine the brain power they had to put into that one. Oh my god.
I mean, the brain power I put into watching it was, demanding.
Yeah, really impressive.
All right, HuiHui, 1 win away from securing himself a 5th Officer Club Championship title. Artemisia, 2 wins away from robbing the 5th title away from HuiHui.
Ooh. And look at that starting hand there.
Oh,
Artemisia. That is looking insane.
yeah, and he gets the Arado out as well. Perfect target.
Oh, but yeah, other than that, okay, we found a plan west, but I want to say the backup is not looking that great after that united, and then you just sit there with the covers, but the plan west might help there.
Yeah, I mean, he's able to move the Red Devils up and play a plan west next turn. I think that's pretty huge. He can follow that up with a medical battalion that's going to heal up his Red Devils if HuiHui decided to trade into it, which he does not. Goes for the first rifles instead. Makes sense. Or first Marines, sorry.
Yeah, I'm not really convinced by HuiHui's deck choice here of bringing that German US deck. I'm not sure what he expected.
It's his last deck. Oh yeah. To the
but no. Just bringing it to the tournament in general.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm not sure what he tried to counter with this or what he expected to be in the meta, because it's also not good against the German Brit Hummer deck. So I don't know. Maybe he just did the same thing that Bubbles did. He had 2 decks and did go to the Chinese Discord or whatever their platform is and just ask, hey guys, what could I bring X? And then somebody told, oh, bring a bounce bolster deck. Okay. And there we go. It should be hard. I mean, he has a lot of bounce, but what is the bounce doing when your opponent is constantly in the front line?
HuiHui being able to get rid of that Karis by top decking the United We Stand was actually huge, because that Karis was in a position where it could be an absolute thorn in his side, generating section 2 after section 2 after section 2 and starting to buff, those early legions established on the board. So actually pretty huge that he was able to find that.
Play it on the Red Devils. And then you have 2 big units in the front line. One of them is guarded. Oh, wow. Okay, that is not doing a lot. Can get rid of the legions.
He cannot bounce the Red Devils back into hand. He just has to push the legions back.
Just because of the plus additional credit that you have to spend when targeting the Red Devils.
But look at that. 30-second infantry, 30-second infantry, 30-second infantry, 30-second infantry, move up, and then, Unity
strengths, yeah.
Or Unity strength, sorry.
Yeah, and additionally, you can guard it up with the legions. So you have a really big Red Devil that is also just guarded.
And then you play a medical
unit.
Then you play a medical battalion to take away any chip damage that was created, and Artemisia finds himself in a really dominant position.
Do I want to play both, or do I want to play one?
It's a good question. It's what, +5/+5? So those become 6/8 Red Devils?
I think you should play one additional and then play one unity and attack phase.
Yeah.
Looks like that's what you're going for. Like, look at this 7/7. Oh. And that sets up a lot of pressure. Like, look, if he wants to bounce it with a Pence of 4, it just needs this whole turn. Even with the Hummel, it is 6 credits, and then he cannot attack with the Pence of 4, getting rid of the legions. So I think that's it. Even if he's able to bounce at 7/9, there's just waiting another Red Devils to get buffed from the other unity.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. That is just...
Man, Unity and is strength and infantry really showing strength in this tournament specifically.
Bolster is not good enough. And that's it. That's game.
It's going to be game Artemisia. Quick one. Game number 4 ties us up and is going to bring us to the final game, the 5th game here in the grand finals. It couldn't be more exciting. We just got one of the closest games I've ever seen in an OCC, followed by one of the shortest games I've seen in an OCC.
Yeah, I think if HuiHui is losing this today, then it is because of this deck. And I also think it's not too great against Alpine. If Artemisia is going first, having the Gebirgs Pioneers, it will be hard because he's having so many expensive units. His strategy is mostly relying on finding an early target for the United We Stand, get into the ramp, and then get your bounce train going. But if he's not able to do this and his opponent can stack Alpine units, the game is over so fast. And yeah, as we said earlier, you need 3 good decks. If you have one deck that is not really well in this current tournament meta, then you have a hard time in the finals and in the match for rank 3. And this might be what we are experiencing here.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. What do you think? Who's winning this? Alpine versus that bounce deck?
I think it's absolutely crazy that we're down to the only 2 decks that these guys have different from each other in the lineup to basically run a decider in game number 5. I think So I think this comes down to draws, right? Like you said, if Artemisia is able to get off to a running start and establish a board and get into the front line before HuiHui starts enabling his bounce machine, then he's going to do good. But look at what HuiHui just found. He found all of the early game that he could possibly want.
That is very good, especially the Aradu. But he's not going first, and that can backfire hardly.
Yes.
And look, oh no, it's not the Pioneer. So
the two Panzer 35Ts could. Oh no! Why not? Why no Naship? I feel like the Naship is way more valuable there because you drop a Panzer 35T, trade it out, and then drop two Chocolate Boys next turn.
Is
that would have survived.
Artemisia playing 35T too?
I'm not sure.
And that could be an argument to not drop that one. But yeah, maybe, on the other hand, you can just trade 35T then and just drop another one. Yeah.
Artemisia is running through the breach, and you had a guaranteed drop that can't be taken out from through the breach. I feel like that was a slight misplay. Yeah. He can drop the Naship now though and trade, and it does fine.
Yeah, HuiHui really with a better start here. He just found his early game units that he missed in the matches before.
Yeah.
But yeah, since he's not having that much in his deck, it's also not too likely to have him in starting hand. But he was really... I mean, he also did go second, so he has a wider selection out of his deck in his hand at the beginning. And 32nd really helps a lot to keep Alpine in check a little bit in the early game.
Establishing the obese early, I like that from him.
Ooh, but look at this. 35T handshell.
Oh,
bam,
that's a
+5.
strong combo.
+3.
And another 35T, trading it out. And all of a sudden, it's an empty support line for Artemisia.
Naship doing work here.
Naship doing so much work.
And look at this sudden strike. And encirclement. Second Alpini, not getting the draw you want to get out of it. I think you have
call me
to
crazy,
wait maybe,
but
right?
yeah, drop the Panzer 35T and push it into the front line. That's my vote.
Yeah. I think you don't drop the second Alpini here. It's not offering you anything.
You need the draw. You need it. I mean, if that encirclement was an enigma, then sure, drop the second Alpini. But you do not have that luxury at the moment. You need to basically sacrifice something, sacrifice some value this turn, and it's either going to be the op cost on the Panzer 35T, or it's going to be the draw on the second Alpini. And which one do you need more right now? I believe you need the draw more.
But one argument you could have, not that I'm disagreeing with you, but one argument for the second Alpini is that you have the encirclement, and maybe you can bring it to the front line and circle this and gives you a 3-3. So that is only a slight argument that you can bring to drop that second Alpini. But I agree, draw is way more important now. He needs to find an Alpine unit to get draw of the second Alpini, and hopefully find his Enigma soon here. Otherwise, I'm not too optimistic that he might win this. Like, look at this.
I like
he
this.
even thought about bouncing his own now. Shoot.
Yeah, no, I like this play from HuiHui a lot, pushing the ankle into the front line.
And it is not an Alpine unit. So this is not looking good for Artemisia, honestly.
It is
now,
not.
HuiHui is in the position where he can just bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce. Almost, besides First Marines, all of his cards in hand can bounce.
Yeah.
Bounce.
And this is the strength of the deck. If you get to this point, right? Like, this is exactly what I said. If Artemisia is able to get to the front line, establish a board before this turn 6, turn 5, that's when the power swings in this deck. And that Naship, having provided him 2 extra credits for the past 3 turns, that means that he was hitting turn 5 on turn 3 effectively. And it just looks like HuiHui got everything that he wanted. Oh, we got a pick 3. This is the first time that I believe we've seen people pick between 3 cards. Whoa!
Oh, that was the keyword here. Oh. Another second Alpini without any Alpine backup.
Yeah, it's not good enough. That's not good enough.
I think this game is over. Look at the bounce potential there.
Yeah, he establishes the First Marines in the front line. I think you he could pass here if he wanted to, but I mean, why wouldn't you just add another unit?
Yeah, and against Alpine, since they don't have any AoE, you can just go as wide as you want. And once you do this, it's really hard for the Alpine deck to come.
All right, Enigma being found, and the fact that he was managing to establish 3 units, this might be significant, right? Because of the way the credits, you look, he has to pay 6 credits to bounce, he has to pay 5 credits to bounce, but that Naship is doing way too much work. How do you deal with it, Naship? Just giving too much credits over to HuiHui.
Yeah, well, how much did it give him? 8 credits over the match so far? That is just too much. Yeah, you cannot
He played it on turn 3, so he's had it in play on 5 turns.
I'm not sure if he killed a unit each turn. I don't know. Probably
it's 8,
but it's
8 to 10 credits.
Holy moly! Yeah, that you cannot outvalue that. He even found Flampanzer now, will wind half track, even more bounce. So look at this 8/8. Just go phase. Yeah, he's at the point now where he can just go phase and bounce everything that Artemisia is deploying. And at this point, he only wants to bounce the guards, and yeah, he's having lethal on that next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Can play the Hummel, also called Hummel in German.
The only thing Artemisia can do here is play some Alpine units, play the 6th Alpine Regiment, and then hope to God that there is no bounce in the hand of HuiHui, who is running like 28 bounce cards in his deck.
If you look at the deck sizes, and if you look at the hand sizes, I think you're not too optimistic that your opponent is not having a single bounce card.
No.
But yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's taking his chance here, hoping for the best. But we all know that this is not enough.
That's not going to be enough.
Wait, what? Did he miss lethal? Oh, he wants to do it with a... Wait, what?
He does it with a Hankel. Hankel's going to be the last...
Just a little additional killing of units just to farm more XP. Great.
And HuiHui reclaims the throne as the Officer Club champion. After about 6 or 8 months of absence, he comes back with a vengeance, and Artemisia painstakingly close to knocking out all previous Chinese OCC champions in a single run through the tournament. But man, I got to give a huge shout out to both of these players. They played their hearts out. They gave us amazing games. They brought good decks, good strategies, and good times in general. This was amazing, Spooz.
Absolutely amazing. Congrats to HuiHui for equaling the score with J King and OCC wins, but also very well fought from Artemisia, especially that the US Legions matchup. That was one of the most insane matches I've seen in a while. Like, both could have won that, and it was just a tiny bit that gave HuiHui the win there. And yeah, that was that win that made him the OCC champion of April. Congrats.
Absolutely. And we can take a look at the final standings of the bracket just so we all know what the path through the tournament for these players looked like. And if you look there for HuiHui, he got a bye in the first round, but he got a bye straight into a matchup against the reigning world champion, who he took out 2-0. Absolutely fantastic play for him there, before then facing off against Artemisia there in the finals in a hard-fought 5-game series, securing himself the championship. Artemisia, again, with an extremely hard path through this tournament, starting off in a grudge match that was 47 minutes of in-game time against No and 5, then moving on to a matchup against Tang Tang, and then finally a grueling 5-match series there against HuiHui. These players have been absolute troopers throughout today, and I wish them congratulations to them all. I wish congratulations to everybody that made it into the top 8. It is no small feat to get there. If you don't believe me, try it next month. You know, if you're watching, try getting into the OCC top 8. It's pretty much impossible. These guys are absolute legends of the game, and we thank them for an amazing tournament here today. Now, before we finish up and say goodbye, Spooz, do you want to have any final words to all our viewers?
Yeah, I want to thank all of them for tuning in, and always nice to read the comments in chat and how the viewers are just feeling with the players and just rooting for them. So that's really cool to see. And yeah, thanks for having me. It's always been a pleasure, and congrats to everyone that participated today. Even if you lose the first match, I mean, even being here today and playing is an achievement. And yeah, congrats to everyone who was here, and in special to HuiHui to winning today's OCC.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone that tuned in. This is going to be it for us here today. It was an amazing tournament, an amazing time. Congratulations to HuiHui and all our other competitors that both qualified for the OCC just in general, and then especially the top 8. We will see you on the 1st of May for the finals for the next KARDS Open, and we can't wait for that one. And then of course later on in May we will have the May Officer Club Championship, so make sure to hit that follow button here on Twitch or YouTube or wherever you might be, so that you don't miss out on any of our future KARDS competitive action. We can't wait to bring it to you. So until next time, see you later.